What are you doing at Absolute Foods?
So we are trying to build up our own research function named Genesis, in which we do a lot of experiments.
How do you think AI and tech is actually going to impact the overall agri-tech?
It has impacted, and it would
Yeah.
definitely impact even over a period of time. As I mentioned, that agri is purely a science.
Going back to your entrepreneurial journey, your Click India days, right? So what were you actually trying to solve there, and why?
So when we started off ClickIndia, we realized that the generic classifieds was not at all available uh,
Hmm.
in India.
What was the scale it achieved in its days?
So in our peak days, we were among the top 10 Alexa ranks in India.
How do you identify that this is the right time to let go of something versus holding on to it?
There could be personal reasons, there could be professional reasons, there could be some of the opportunities which someone gets.
So are you guys using anything open source, or you have built your own LLM from scratch?
Initial ones, we built it on our own. We did use some of the framework for training purposes, nothing more than that.
Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode of our podcast, Tech with Sukant. Today, we have a very seasoned tech leader, serial entrepreneur with us, Sushan sir है हमारे साथ. So, currently, he has done multiple startups earlier. Currently, he is leading tech and he's a CTO at Absolute Foods, who has been doing wonders in the food industry. We'll talk more on that as well. Welcome, sir, to the podcast.
Thank you, Sukant. Thanks a lot.
So, Sushan, what are you doing at Absolute Foods? How is tech playing a role or a pivotal role there?
So we are trying to build up our own research function named Genesis, in which we do a lot of experiments, and out of it we carve out multiple experiments
Okay.
and multiple businesses. So that's
Mhm.
number one. Number second, we have one of our business verticals named Inera, in which we sell bio-fertilizers. Uh, then we are even into agroforestry business, and together with this, we even help Government of India in launching and developing Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana (PMFBY), which is world's largest insurance product as of date.
Yeah, right. So, how about tech? जैसे अभी you just mentioned biofertilizer. First, like how is a fertilizer different from a biofertilizer, right? And across all these functions, how is tech? What role tech is playing in all this?
Uh, so, fertil. So I'm not so much into deep into this bio piece.
Okay.
So broadly, I would say that fertilizers can sometimes have chemical components into it, but yes, bio fertilizer doesn't have any kind of a chemical component into it. It is made out of enzymes or microbes,
Mhm.
which helps the plant grow and is more natural in nature.
So tell me one thing. So before this industrial revolution, I think everything was bio or organic in nature, right? We are again, obviously, what do you call it? We introduced chemicals or inorganic stuff, maybe to increase the overall productivity or the quality. But again, we are going back to where it all started, and then it's becoming a premium or a luxury for most of the segment. Why is that?
Uh, it is all marketing gimmicks, I would say.
Hmm.
So organic, as in word, is used by a lot of companies nowadays. But I would personally suggest that all of these are mostly marketing gimmicks and nothing beyond it. So there are some elements of organic piece in nature into it, but not all.
Okay, but can you do a little bit deep dive of what is organic or what is inorganic?
Uh, so let me give you a very small example.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, a soya bean which is grown in a farmland, uh, the farmers will definitely spray a lot of pesticide into it, or might not spray pesticide, or would put bio-fertilizers into it. Probably the outcome when it comes, you cannot ascertain whether the bio-fertilizers have gone for producing it, or whether pesticides have gone into it for
Okay.
producing
That
it.
cannot be tested.
That cannot be tested as of
Okay.
date, and that cannot be determined. So you
Okay.
cannot comment about it. Probably what manufacturers or processors does is, uh, they label it as organic, any produce as organic, by simply during the course of packaging, lot of
The storage part, how it is being
is,
stored basically. Yeah.
so they put lot of lot of chemical goes under process into it.
Mm-hmm.
The moment they avoid those chemicals for their storage capacity or during the processing capacity, then they call it organic.
Okay, what is, what is more important? Not using chemicals at the time of growth while it is still, in soil, or not using chemicals at the time of storage.
So probably some part of chemicals is obviously required. So let me
Mm-hmm.
give you an example. Uh, when uh, when we see any kind of insects in our houses, we
Right.
generally put pesticides into it. Those kind of, in order to avoid those pest attacks or maybe rat attacks, we need to spray
Mm-hmm.
pesticides into it. So that is a part and parcel of it. So those are necessary, and to certain extent they do harm the produce, but they do not harm the produce to that extent. So
Got
that
it.
is bearable.
Do you think there is a sustainable way of, increasing the overall produce or increasing the overall quality without actually using these harmful chemicals?
Yes, definitely there are many ways.
One is obviously what you guys are doing, right, around bio-fertilizer.
Let me put it this way. Uh, so you would have seen that our ancestors have actually produced a lot without using any fertilizers in their
Correct.
older days, and probably the entire army, when they used to go, their feed was sustained either by taking all the grains, or in their roadways, wherever they used to
Right.
go, they take it from the farmers, nearby farmers, and they
Mm-hmm.
used to cook it. So produce has in country like India has never been a problem. The real problem is excessive use of harmful chemicals, or I would say that the greed of the farmers have increased, or the greed of an individual might have increased, which have led to these kind of situations.
Mm-hmm.
uh, Another example is, if you go to Punjab, the Punjab soil is has actually become worst in last 10-20 years.
Okay.
You would see a lot of thick soil into
Hmm.
it, and henceforth, if you will pour a water in some of the lands in Punjab, you would see that the water doesn't get absorbed by the soil itself.
Acha. Okay.
So those are uh, the malfunctions of using chemicals
A
in a
chemical
farm.
can also overall, change the composition of a soil as well, is it?
Yes, can change the composition of a soil, can change the composition or the health of a plant or a tree
Mm-hmm.
in nature. For another example is mango. Uh,
Yeah.
so we actually see, so mango is a kind of a fruit which is generally uh, available in the market in the month of May and June,
Correct.
if you will see our younger days.
Right.
But as of date, you would see that mangoes are visible from in the market from the month of February, March, so on and so
Mm-hmm.
forth. It is only because of harmful use of chemicals.
Mm-hmm. Other fruits, most of the other fruits are available, throughout all the entire 12 months, right? If you take example of apple, etc. Like, but why is it that mangoes and there are some other fruits that is not available throughout the year?
So number one, uh, some of the fruits are actually can be stored in the cold storage and can be preserved for a longer duration of time,
Mm-hmm.
like apple for that matter, and henceforth it is available throughout the season. Plus, apple as a fruit. Uh, uh, is available in the market at a higher rate compared with lot of other fruits
Right.
like banana or maybe mango for that
Mm-hmm.
nature. I'm barring Alfonso as of now.
Yeah.
So uh, that's the reason. Fruits like apples are stored in cold storages and then are
Mm-hmm.
available for the entire year.
You have been into this, agri-tech industry for a very long time, for almost a decade, right? So even before Absolute Foods, you was the co-founder at one of the agri-tech startup. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? What you did there?
Uh, we were primarily engaged in trading and warehousing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I was a part of Star Agri Group and co-founded AgriBazaar together with them. Uh, so in AgriBazaar, we developed a trading platform
Okay.
which helped the entire community to trade. So we built an auction engine for them, uh, which was completely digitized, helped them to get better prices.
Right.
So that was number one. Another piece was we developed a small testing machine which was able to capture the moisture. So the real quality check of grains or pulses happens with the help of a moisture
Okay.
meter. So we developed that in order to
Mm-hmm.
gain the quality of the produce so that the trade becomes meaningful in nature.
So I have been seeing, for last very few, for last, almost a decade, that lot of startups are coming into the agri-tech space, right? And most of them claims that they are actually, trying to give a better value to the farmers at the grassroots level. But eventually, it just ends up benefiting the middlemen and not the farmers, right? So why is that?
See, anybody who is there in the ecosystem plays their important role.
Yeah.
Let me give you an example. Uh, let's see an example of a normal cosmetics
Correct.
per se. So, cosmetic gets produced in a manufacturing company. It goes to the uh, CNF agent. It gets stored there. From CNF, it is supplied to a distributor. From distributor, it goes to a retailer
Right.
or a medical shop, and from there, it goes to an end consumer.
Mm-hmm.
If I talk about the same thing happening on our e-commerce website, again, this it gets shipped to a warehouse of a portal, and from there it gets delivered to a nearby warehouse, and then it finally
Right.
get delivered to a customer. So everybody has their own value chain in the ecosystem.
Mm-hmm.
In sometimes they do help in distribution. In some cases they do help in financing. In some cases they do help in supply chain.
Right.
In some cases they do help in grading, sorting, or
Yeah.
some other activities. So everybody is involved and everybody needs to take care of anything to everything.
Right.
Now any startup which grows or which emerges that they want to help someone or the other. So in India, we have a perception that we only cut down a middleman and we will solve a problem.
Correct.
In some of the cases, it could be true, but in some of the cases or in most of the cases, it
It's not
cannot be.
practical.
Yeah. So that has to be taken care of. So either you take care of that counterpart and you cut down the middleman.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, if you enter into becoming a middleman, then that even becomes a painful activity. कि मैंने किसी
Right.
को कट कर दिया और उसके बदले मैं बैठ गया.
Which
Then you are
happens quite often as well. Right. So I think the idea should be to create more value for all the players,
Stakeholders.
right? All the stakeholders in that supply chain. But that actually doesn't happen. Now, if we talk about farmers, right? So I think in the entire chain from where, right from production until it gets sold, right? It's the most undermined or the undervalued stakeholder is the farmer, or that is not correct.
I do not believe so. Some
Mm-hmm.
of the startups have really played well and have helped farmers in some way or the other. In some of the cases, see, in India, specifically government of India take a lot of initiatives
Mm-hmm.
for helping farmers.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so, for example, in Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, farmers are getting insurance covered for their crop
Right.
produce for a very minimal cost.
Huh.
So that is one of the biggest benefits which government of India has given to them. Another is KCC card, which has been distributed. In parallel, similarly, a lot of agri-tech startups have actually helped farmers in doing microfinancing. Some of them have actually helped them in gaining a lot of practical knowledge on the bio-fertilizers, or maybe helping them with new technologies like
Mm-hmm.
newer variety of tools which could be embedded together with tractors, and they could harvest the farm. For example, implementation of drone spraying is one of another great
Right.
example, which has actually helped farmers do the input spray in a shorter span of time.
Right. So see, almost all the other industries, there are bigger players. There are two, three main players who is typically, I would say, dominating the entire market. For example, if we pick, food delivery, we have Zomato, Swiggy. If we pick e-commerce, we have, maybe Flipkart and Amazon. But there are no big private player who is into the agriculture, uh, or managing the overall infrastructure or ecosystem. Why is that? Why is that no private player is willing to solve the uh, agriculture problem at the grassroots level?
Uh, See, in India, I would completely disagree that none of the private players are there who are not trying to solve the
Okay.
problems. Uh, Probably many of the private players are coming forward and they are trying to solve many of the problems related with agri or related with farmers, so on and so forth. For example, Adani Group do a
Mm-hmm.
lot of work with farmers in the area of apple produce.
Okay.
Uh, oh, but there are a lot of government interventions as well, and those cannot be avoided.
Right.
So you have the private players have to work together with the government of India in
Mm-hmm.
order to get something adopted by the farmers.
See. Yeah.
Let
Please.
me give you an
Mm-hmm.
example. The trading, the trading is cannot be adopted by the farmer until unless it gets approved by the state government or by the central
Acha.
government.
Okay.
So, for example, if you want to do a trading for a farmer on behalf, or ask a farmer to enter into a trading platform, there should be a e-mandi license which needs to be
Mm-hmm.
acquired by a trading platform.
Okay.
So, a lot of those government interventions are there, which needs to be passed on. And if any platform uh, uh, does a pass through of all of those compliances, only then they can help it.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a very penetrated stuff. For you gave an example of Zomato, Swiggy, and Zepto, for example. So they have only penetrated it in urban cities.
Correct.
If you imagine, or if you will go to Zomato and ask them that whether they would like to launch a food delivery app or a store app in a village which has a population of 100, 200 people, probably their answer will be no,
Right.
because the cost of penetration is quite high. The same problem is being faced by the private players as well. The unit economics
But
becomes
here, when they are going to these rural areas, they are just going there for production. Their primary market where they are selling the produce is still outside, is still the urban areas, right?
it is
Or for
mixed. It is actually mixed.
Mhm.
ऐसा नहीं है कि गांव में लोग खाते नहीं है.
Come, overall consumption is lesser, na, compared to.
Probably, I would say the wastage in urban cities are higher.
हाँ.
So, for example, if we go to a restaurant and if we take any meal from there, probably 20 to 40% of our meal actually gets wasted
Correct.
over
Correct.
there. So but probably in rural area that doesn't happen.
Yes.
Henceforth, the consumption in rural areas are seems to be lesser vis-a-vis that in urban
Hmm.
cities. So we should not mingle that,
Right.
because the stomach size probably in rural and urban cities are same.
Right.
And ultimately,
No, no, not about. I'm not talking about the consumption at an individual level, but overall, in terms of the market size.
Yes. So if a population of a particular
Yes.
area is lesser, for example, if you go to Mumbai,
Mm-hmm.
then Mumbai will have probably 10,000 people per square kilometer kind
Correct.
of stuff. Vis-a-vis, if you will see the population in Nashik, it would be probably 500 to 1,000 people per square
Mm-hmm.
kilometer. So, if the per square kilometer population density is higher, then the consumption will definitely be higher. So,
Right.
but the market penetration or the cost to sell a product
Yeah.
or to do a business becomes expensive
No,
while we.
what I'm trying to say is, that why these big players are not getting into the production or the agriculture part at the grassroots level. Why are they not owning huge lands and they are not, cultivating those produce themselves? Is that not a lucrative business to get into?
Uh, so number one, to answer that, the any of the agri produce prices are mostly determined by government of India.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so that is capped. So that is not a free flow economy.
Okay.
So this is one of the biggest problems. The
Hmm.
second biggest problem is that you cannot own a agri land as a private player and run it for unit economics.
Mm-hmm.
Again, there are a lot of controversies. Generally, private players do try to avoid it, and ultimately, it's very labor intensive.
You're right.
So you have to monitor it, you have to fight through it. So again, that becomes another
Mm-hmm.
set of a controversy. So it is better for any private player not to participate in the uh,
Right.
production, rather than they should help farmers in increasing their productivity.
So, tell me one thing, that agriculture is becoming less and less lucrative over time, right? People are migrating to cities for better opportunities. So, at the same point of time, the overall requirement of the consumption globally is increasing of food. So, how do you see, like how do you see this evolving, or how do you see this impacting over time?
I would differ with this. This is actually a myth.
Okay.
Uh, so I know a lot of guys who have actually uh, who are real engineers, done their BTechs,
Yes, that is
MTechs,
happening quite often now. So,
and they have actually gone to villages and they have started doing farming. My native hometown is in Patna, and nearby to Patna, I have one of my friends who started doing farming after his BTech. So he
mhm.
did around 2 to 3 years of job, and after that he started doing mushroom farming for about a year or so. And lately he purchased, or he rented out a lot of lands over it there, and he started. So he has increased his business for about 20x in last 7 8 years.
Okay. Wow,
So,
that is very
so there are a
nice.
lot of examples, and probably if you will uh, see a lot of news, you will actually find these kind of real heroes emerging on
Mm-hmm.
a day-to-day basis. Another example is uh, uh, saffron farming.
Yeah,
So we have heard saffron being grown in Kashmir, but you
people are
would
growing
not.
it in their rooms as well now. So,
So you would actually see, if you will go search for saffron farming, you would see that a lot of vertical farming opportunities are
yes,
available, and people have started doing saffron farming from their flats in urban cities as well.
right.
So
So, yeah.
this is purely
Mm-hmm.
trends are actually changing.
Mm-hmm. So that's what we are eventually, we are going back to where it
Yeah,
all
but
started.
these heroes are never
Right.
being shooted, or are
Hmm.
never being captured in media. So probably uh, our sense goes that okay, farmers are living, or in mostly in Bollywood movies, you would see that
Yes.
farmers are being exploited only.
Mm-hmm.
So gone are the days, and
Right. I think even in that, in farming, there are different categories of farmers as well. Some are educated, some are, some are more experienced. They know or understand how to utilize technology or new whatever, new inventions to their advantage versus others.
so Actually, farming is a science.
Obviously, completely, it's a science.
It's a science, and anybody who understands science and who can take advantage of it can actually take advantage of it. So we should treat it like that. And this is a field in which lot of innovations has happened and
Yes.
will gradually
Correct.
happen over a period of time. And farming has to be competed with lot of natural
Yes.
calamities or climate activities,
Yes.
which none of the other business activities has to. For example, if I talk about a computer engineer, if he needs to develop a software, he doesn't need to be worried about whether there would be a heavy rainfall or whether there would be an
Right.
extreme temperature which could destroy his software or something of that sort.
Mm-hmm.
He has to only run his code and get it deployed in a server. But vis-a-vis a farmer has to even worry about the natural activities, like whether there would be heavy rainfall. If the rainfall occurs at a certain duration, then probably his crop may get
Mm-hmm.
destroyed, or there is an excessive weather conditions, be it cold, be it heat waves. Even then, his crop can
Right.
get destroyed, which is not under his control at any point in time.
Yes. And how do you think, AI and tech is actually going to impact the overall agri-tech?
It has impacted, and it would
Yeah.
definitely impact even over a period of time. As I mentioned, that agri is purely a science. So let me give you an example. A lot of technologies have been invented through which you can actually help farmers know a lot of weather conditions the, at a at early stages, which helps them plan their activities
Mm-hmm.
accordingly. Number one. Number second, uh, drones have actually played a very vital role in doing a lot of spraying works and other activities. Uh, Insurance has played a very vital role, which is again initiated through technology interventions, so on and so forth.
So, if you have to build something, if you have to solve one problem using AI and tech today for the overall agriculture ecosystem, after being in that for almost a decade, what is that one problem you will pick and how will you solve that?
Uh, so I personally believe, in rural communities, uh, financing is not readily available, at least in
Hmm.
India, and in rural areas, uh, people do not have revenues booked properly.
They don't have a digital footprint, right? So,
Exactly, they do not have a digital footprint. Now, if we talk about a CIBIL score for a farmer, probably that would be untrue.
right.
So that is the kind of that is one of the problems which I would especially love to solve for a farmer.
Okay. So you plan to, you'll build something to, build a digital footprint
I
for
have
them.
already tried it and will do something around it.
Okay.
Probably days could
Okay.
say, but yes, that is one thing which I would love to do.
See, microfinancing is something which is a community-led lending, right? Then the way typical lenders work is completely based on a digital footprint, your CIBIL score, right? Which gives a picture of your intention to pay and your ability to pay. And if we don't have any of these, how are we going to underwrite a farmer?
By estimating his revenue, which will come out from his farmland.
Okay. Hmm.
So
So it's
let me
basically
put it
then
this
it
way.
becomes a revenue-based financing.
Yes, rather than so,
Hmm.
let me put it this way. I am a student.
Yeah.
Um, I am studying at a XYZ institute.
Hmm.
So probably by studying in XYZ institute, there is a huge probability that my potential earning could be
Hmm.
X after I pass out from a college.
Right.
So basis on that determination, if any financial institution can finance a student, then why not a farmer?
Hmm. So basically, you'll try to build more of a report card for a farmer,
I
right?
wish to.
Right. So a
I wish to.
Sibyl for farmer, which typically gives you a picture of how good he is at farming or how good he is at whatever he does.
Yes, something of that sort.
Okay, that is quite interesting actually. Okay. Now you were talking about AI and tech in overall agri tech business, right? So if we look in the trading side, so there are a lot of financing opportunities available to traders. Is it because that they have the digital footprint and they have the produce which is readily available, versus there is a lot of unpredictability in farming? There is a very long, what do you call it, overall timeline when you can actually, get what you have sowed. So is it because of that as well?
Uh, so see, I'm not a financial expert for the at the financing level, so little difficult for me to comment on it. But there are many factors which actually determine
Mm-hmm.
all of those. For example, government already provide a lot of financing facilities like KCC cards,
Yeah.
uh, and interventions by banks to farmers. So all of the micro lenders do have their own set of algos in through which
Right.
they actually give financing to farmers.
Mm-hmm.
Some do it through the social impacts, or some do it by ground level research works for a
Got it.
farmer. Some do it by doing mortgage of either. So agri land is not necessary to do so, but some take mortgage of farmer's home, or maybe
Yes.
jewelry or something of that sort.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of financing opportunities are available. Many people are, many organizations are doing it in some way or the other, and over a period of time, it will probably mature and
Mm-hmm.
have their own ways.
Going back to your, entrepreneurial journey, your Click India days, right? So, what were you actually trying to solve there, and why?
So when we started off Click India, we realized that the generic classifieds was not at all available
Mm-hmm.
in India. So, for example, for job classified, there were a lot of startups like Naukri.com, Monster.com. Uh, for real estate classified, there were startups like 99 Acres, Magic Bricks.
Right.
But there were no classifieds per se as general classifieds. So we started off with that there should be a general classified which could help anyone to everyone. Uh, and Craigslist was there in US at that point in time in 2006, and Craigslist was one of the biggest success in US. Even as of date, Craigslist is quite famous in nature. So, and in a specific category based classified, there are a lot of transaction charges which has to be bared by an individual or by a firm who actually post the ads.
Mm-hmm.
But there is no one who could do it for free. So, keeping all of these things in mind, we started off Click India, and make it penetrated to each and every people around the country,
Mm-hmm.
to make them interact and to make them transact.
What was the scale it achieved in its days?
So, in our peak days, we were among the top 10 Alexa ranks in India.
Okay.
Uh, we were one of the biggest classifieds in India. So, we were having traffic bigger than what traffic a
Mm-hmm.
news website used to get at that point in time, or any non-general classified used to get at that point in time.
So, see, you created multiple businesses, right? Click India, then Agri India, right?
Agri Bazaar was
Agri
there,
Bazaar, right?
yeah,
Sorry.
Po
So
Online.
Click India, Agri Bazaar, right? And then you exited them. So as an entrepreneur, we typically get too obsessed with what we are building. And as an engineer, we get too obsessed with the technology that we are building, right? It gets very difficult to detach ourselves from what we have built and what actually the business requirement is, right? So, how do you, first question, like how do you think like a business and not get too attached or too biased with what you have built?
uh, Actually, number one, attachment always remains. You
Okay.
cannot detach your baby. So, for example, we cannot detach our kids
Right.
even after a certain age, so and so forth. For example, even I am staying aloof from my parents, but there is nothing called a detachment with them.
Right.
So there is always a sense of attachment with them. So attachment always remains, and probably if someone doesn't have an attachment, probably that's
Mm-hmm.
that would be a reason for worry. This is what I personally believe. Yes, but
I think the better question is, like, how do you identify, that this is the right time to let go of something versus holding on to it?
so there could be multiple reasons. There could be personal reasons. There could be professional reasons. There could be some of the opportunities which someone gets. But yes, before doing any exits or before first of all, the biggest take one should see to it is that are they really solving their problem for their customers?
Right.
Whatever tech, tech they are building, or whatever product they are building, are is it actually solving a problem of
Mm-hmm.
your end user or not? Just take feedback from them, solve it, and the moment you will solve it, you will find yourself to be relaxed कि हाँ आज मैंने कुछ करा है.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the one thing which you always should take feedback upon and
So
start doing
even
it.
even in your team, I'm sure this must be happening quite often when you ship a certain feature, right? But after a couple of months, the business comes down saying, this is something that is not required, and we probably need to pull it down. Then the team that has actually worked on it feels a little demotivated that we have put in so much of hard work, effort. If you guys are not sure, why did you build it in the very first place? Right. So how do you do this expectation setting with your engineers in that case?
So number one, I am a firm believer that whatever experiments you make, especially in technology,
Mm-hmm.
90% of those would actually fail and
Yes.
10% of it would actually succeed. This has been my core learning from my initial days.
Mm-hmm.
So I have actually, so whenever I work with any team, I set the expectation that whatever we will do, probably 90% of them would actually fail,
Mm-hmm.
and only 10% of that would actually succeed. So this is number one. Number second, uh, any of the failure of these products or these technology doesn't mean that there is no learning out of it. There is a
Right.
great learning from any of the failures which happens. So whenever the failure happens, it gives you a lot of training or learning vis-a-vis whatever from what you learn or what you acquire from a successful
Yeah.
uh, feature or a product. So your failures will make you learn more. This is
So
what my firm belief is,
yeah.
and this will make you practice and educate that you can make much more better decisions for your upcoming pieces. So
Mm-hmm.
rather than getting demotivated, I always inspire the team that they should get motivated because there is a learning or a knowledge attached to it.
Right. It's not always about the end
Uh,
goal. It's more about the journey as well.
yes, journey and the knowledge which he gains, and
Yes.
which helps him in taking better decisions
Right.
at a later stage. So, for example, if I get a learning that certain activity is when performed will not work well, then
Mm-hmm.
probably at a later stage when someone else tell me that you should do this, probably I can have a background reference that
Right. We have more context. We have more understanding of what works, what doesn't
what
work.
doesn't work.
Right.
And that's the reason the fresher doesn't get uh, better compensation whether vis-a-vis an experience one gets.
Right. So, do you think engineers are actually a little bit, too optimistic? Most of the time, what I have seen is, that whenever they have something in hand, something that they need to do, for them, it's more like, yes, I'll get it done in a day, in a 2 day, in 3 day, but the actual estimation is completely different from, what comes from an engineer, right? So, why do you think that, where does that optimism comes from?
Number one, it comes from excitement. Number second, it comes from experience.
Mm-hmm.
So a right set of an estimation comes from an experience.
Right.
And number third, uh, the expectation, the misleading figures generally comes when people doesn't check out the execution strategies.
Mm-hmm.
So if you will, if you will ask an engineer, he will only say, okay, my part of code would be completed. He doesn't know the entire journey at a
Right,
later
right.
stage.
Or what are the all other moving
Mo-
components?
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So he's unaware about it. So that is number third. Number fourth is engineers are mostly, not everyone, most of the engineers are introvert in nature. They are not at all extrovert in nature.
Okay.
Since by nature they are introverts in nature, most of them, henceforth they cannot visualize the end-to-end activities, or they do not get engaged with the
They
entire
don't look at
team.
the bigger picture, right? So,
Exactly. So
okay. So, do you think, that is the reason that most of the business folks, when they come to you for a requirement, right? एक button add करना है, color change करना है, right? And when you give them a timeline, कि this will probably take, we'll do this in another sprint, right? And then there is a counter argument that why can't this be done in 2 hours, 3 hours? Why can't you make it live tomorrow? And is that the reason, why young engineers also end up underestimating things because they probably don't have the bigger context, or they don't look at the things from a,
yes, exactly.
yeah,
So most of the young engineers do not have a bigger context.
yeah,
Uh, some of the experienced engineers become lazy.
right,
So probably now, after emergence of lot of Gen AI stuff, I think many of these things will actually change and will emerge in a different manner.
yes,
So the lot of differences which used to happen in between business team and engineering team will probably come down
right,
over a period of
that
time.
gap is going to reduce over time.
Exactly, the gap will definitely be reduced over a period of time.
So how has, in the last 2 decades, how has the overall, I would say, ingenious skills that have evolved from, when you started your career versus now? When you started, I think, what we had back then was probably, Google and some Stack Overflow, where we can, and mostly, the documentation. If we have to build something, we have to go to that website, we have to read the entire documentation and then understand how it actually works, versus now you just need to ask a question on ChatGPT and it gives you a very
Prompt.
pinpointed answer, right? So a specific answer. So do you think it reduces the overall understanding of how actually thing works? And
Uh, See, I started off my journey from the days when we used to refer books,
right,
not even Google for that matter. So we used to refer books, and so when I started off my journey at that point in time, I was asked to install Linux in a
mm-hmm.
machine. Some I'm talking about 2 decades back. So at that point in time, the Linux distributions were very primitive in nature, not much more matured, and most of the drivers were not available. So the machine in which I was installing Linux distro, uh, it was not able to detect the video adapter of the monitor
Right,
which was attached to it. I was not having a luxury to have another monitor, so I have to actually do a lot of studies, experimented in my friend's machine, and after doing a lot of experimentations, I have to detach the monitor, attach my friend's monitor, do some coding,
yeah,
deploy it, and thereafter so it took round about 4 5 days for me only to make my monitor work with my machine in a Linux distro.
right, versus now that it
Versus
can
now
be solved.
probably it is a matter of 3 to 4 minutes or maybe 10 minutes
Correct,
time
right,
frame. So if someone will tell me that okay, you actually wasted your 4 5 days, probably I would say no, that was actually a learning.
mm-hmm.
So learning happens and a change will come, and changes needs to come. uh, so for example, in 2010, all the mobile generation actually started, and we as an engineers never learned mobile technology
Right,
because it emerged in its own time. and mobile took over the web protocols, and a lot of new technologies, J2E, J2ME, uh, Java emerged at that point in time for doing developments in mobile.
Right. So, yeah.
So technologies keeps changing, and change is the only constant. So yes, we have to adopt to it, we have to learn through it, and that will happen.
So, how are you, in your current organization, how are you leading the adoption of overall AI among engineers to increase their productivity or efficiency, or that is not the focus at the moment?
So AI has its own advantage, but it do comes with its own disadvantage as well,
Mm-hmm.
especially in terms of engineering capacity. So, for example, uh, uh, if I put my entire code in and get it indexed to a AI agent, probably that would risk my entire security purposes.
Right.
So I cannot do so, or I will avoid to do so.
And how is AI impacting your work at Absolute Foods right now in
So
terms of,
yes, adoption is
DNA
definitely there. So
sequencing, lot
for
of other
example,
things?
so we have adopted a lot. So we have adopted a lot of AI stuffs in our organization, so that our productivity gets increased. For
Mm-hmm.
example, let me give a very small example. Um, we have built a lot of AI tools in order to uh, do satellite imaging, satellite classification, and stuff
Right.
in our organization. So that was internal LLMs which we developed and
Mm-hmm.
did it. If we talk about any of the bugs which comes in, probably rather than doing any web search, most of our engineers do AI
Correct.
search and takes advantage of it as well. Yeah. So that has even increased the productivity of theirs.
Right.
Probably some of the functions style which used to be developed or coded by the engineers, they have changed their styles of coding because AI have made them adopted to it.
So, Abhi, you just mentioned that that you guys have developed some internal LLMs, right? So, when do you think uh, one should be using or building an LLM internally versus using an already readily available LLM?
S- See, developing LLMs internally is very expensive.
Yes.
So it needs to be done only when the business needs it, or when a product needs it.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it should not be done. As of date, this is what my personal belief is. If your
Got it.
business need or your product need it. Otherwise, a lot of agents are there. Lot of So why to redevelop anything which is already developed
Right.
anywhere else?
So, are you
Yeah.
guys using anything open source or you have built your own LLM from scratch?
Initial ones we built it on our own. We did use some of the framework for training purposes. Nothing more than that.
Okay. And what's the use of LLM in at Absolute Foods, if you mind sharing?
Prob- I won't be able to share a lot of insights around it as
Mm-hmm.
of now, but yes, it was for a specific purpose for which we developed it.
Got it. How far do you think we are from AGI? And do you think is it actually going to happen?
Yes, definitely. I believe that things will come and things will emerge,
Yeah.
uh, and but what extent is what probably time would say. But yes,
Mm-hmm.
I'm quite uh, positive about it that the emergence of AGI will come.
Been a lot of discussion. I think there is a lot of hype around AI. Until few years, I think couple of years, 3 4 years back, there was a lot of hype and a lot of investment was happening in the blockchain area right now. Now, in the last 2 years, there has been a lot of hype around the AI startups and a lot of investment is happening left, right, center in the AI startups and businesses, right? So, do you really think that most of the AI startups that call them deep tech are really deep tech, or they are just a wrapper using most of the LLMs?
See, in some of the cases, yes, many of the startups are becoming a wrapper engine. But again, becoming a wrapper engine doesn't mean doing anything wrong.
Yes.
If I am solving any uh, purpose or a problem by creating a wrapper, then probably it works. So,
Yeah.
and it works. That's it. And probably if I am doing building an LLM, and then probably I'm trying to solve a problem, but I do not solve a problem, then
Right.
probably my efforts have gone to a waste and it doesn't serve a
Right.
purpose.
But do you think it's a bubble that is forming
I do
right
not
now?
think so.
Okay.
It's a bubble. See, we we have yes, blockchain was a hype to a certain extent,
Blockchain, then even if we look at,
but people actually confuse blockchain with Ethereum.
yes,
If you will talk to them, for them blockchain is Bitcoin.
I think blockchain was primarily a bubble because a lot of startups were coming. They were launching their own, cryptocurrency. They
Huh.
were doing a lot of ICOs. It just became another scam to make more money. And then in next few weeks, that startup will disappear. That actually happened with a lot of funded startups as well.
Actually, uh, building blockchain, if you are trying to as I mentioned earlier, if I'm building something and I'm trying to solve any problem,
Right.
if it solves, then it solves.
Yes.
Many of the blockchain startups which emerged in their days, they didn't solve any problem, and so
Yes.
they collapsed.
See,
There were some startups which actually solved the business problem
yeah.
or a purpose, and they are still there, and they will still be there.
See, it just became a money making scheme because see, blockchain is again just a technology, another
Yes,
technology,
yes,
just like AI, right? And we do not see any application, any startup or any product that has been built with a proper application of blockchain
yes.
as such.
See, business purpose or a problem is more important rather than technology.
Right,
If it solves a problem, then it solves a problem. Probably AI is not there from last 2-3 years. AI is probably there from last 7-8 years. Let me give you an
right.
example. Uh, if we have you seen auto suggestion in the
Yes,
text,
yes, yes.
which is there in our mobile phones? It is actually an AI.
I think see
So
LLMs.
it is there from last 7-8 years.
See, LLM became more accessible because of Nvidia because we had more GPU and more processing
Yes,
power,
exactly.
right?
So,
So
so AI was there. People started giving. A lot of startups have started solving business use cases by solving real purpose problems.
right.
For example, OpenChat came up with their product, which became very successful because it actually solved a problem. If it didn't solve the problem, it would have failed actually.
Right.
Similarly, Claude has solved a lot of business problems.
Yes.
Actually, it has helped in a lot of
Hmm.
documentations and a lot of other purposes. So, if there is an AI instrument which is actually solving a problem or a business purpose,
Right.
then it has to be successful. If it is not solving, then whatever technology adoption I take,
It is irrelevant.
it is actually irrelevant.
Right.
It is like a fashion piece. So, I'm wearing a cloth, and if it doesn't suits me, it doesn't suits me.
Right. So, as an entrepreneur, like what will be your recommendation or advice to fellow entrepreneurs who are planning to start something in the AI space right now?
So, do not start a startup only because you want to do startup in an AI space or you want to do something in AI. First of all, try to think about a problem which you want to solve from that AI.
Mm-hmm.
So, there could be a number of components available to solve a problem.
Right.
It is not AI which will solve the problem. There could be do it in a best manner which actually solves a problem. Do not
Right.
do it. We should not do a reverse engineering
Right.
for solving a problem.
Okay, but there are people, I think most of the people are just getting into that bandwagon primarily because they're happening, a lot of action happening in the AI space, a lot of money flowing into the AI space. This is the right time, perfect time, to get into it, raise some money from the investors and then figure out
Then
what will happen
probably,
next.
if anybody does something like that, he is probably fooling himself or fooling the investors.
Mm-hmm.
The best way to do it is solve a problem.
Yeah, right. So in your case, like you have done two startups so far, and then there was a time when you guys decided to uh, get acquired or to move out of it, right? So from where that realization came in, what led to that?
See, it happens because of a lot of natural activities, like uh, you gain a lot of knowledge. Some actions, some personal activities happens in your career,
Right.
which uh, which makes you think that okay, you should move in certain direction and you should take certain action. So there are a lot of permutation combination which happen, which lead, and if you are probably making money, then why not?
Then why not another startup? You have been an entrepreneur for 10 years, right? So you never felt that probably, I'm sure as an entrepreneur, like we keep getting so many ideas on a daily basis. Let's build this, let's do that, let's solve this problem, right? So how do you get out of that loop and then, uh, become a part of a team, and not being a founder yourself?
So basically, I want to solve a problem, and solving a business purpose or solving a problem is much more bigger agenda rather than I being a founder or I not being a founder.
Okay.
Uh, so let me give an example. I can become a founder and I can make a business entity of $100 million by having 100% stake, and probably I could be an employee. I could make a business worth $1 trillion and having 1% equity. So being a founder of $100 million company, or uh, being a team member of with 1% equity of $1 trillion company, which one is better?
You're right.
So probably it's uh, not a question of founder versus a team member. It's probably a question of what dent you want to create, what change you want to bring in, what impact you want to bring in.
And how important is money? When does it stop being, irrelevant? Or it never does?
Money actually solves your basic
Right.
hygiene issues. Money gives you to a certain extent gives motivation to a lot of people.
Hmm.
But yes, money does not always solve any of your uh, success matrices, or it does not solve your desires per se.
Mm-hmm.
So it is only one of the tools to solve certain problems of yours, but not all the tools.
You're right.
It is a right cake or a right knowledge which can actually solve all of those. So
Hmm.
probably right knowledge, right thought process, right thing which can make you happy is probably something which matters more.
And there are a lot of engineers who are or managers who are stuck at the middle management for a very long time. They have been with 10, 15 years experience. They are still stuck in the middle management while their counterparts are growing like a wildfire. They are becoming VPs, CTOs. What differentiates both of them?
The biggest differentiator, I personally believe, is learning.
Okay.
If someone stop gaining knowledge or learning, probably that becomes a phase when his career starts declining. That should number one be
Mm-hmm.
avoided. So we should always keep on learning, keep on gaining knowledge. Number second is doing experiments. We
Okay.
should never hesitate in doing experiments. Uh, I would not do not consider this experiment to on a negative part. Always consider it on a
You're
positive
right.
note. That okay, I will experiment it, but I will do some betterment towards it,
Right.
which could bring out, which could either reduce cost of manpower, which could either reduce
Right.
monetary costs, or it could be something else, or it could gain productivity of certain people. It could, and any of the matrices should be solved by doing that. So if it does that, then
Hmm.
probably, and if someone doesn't do it, then probably again he will get stuck into it.
So basically, they stop being an engineer and start being just a manager.
Yes, and they fear change.
Hmm.
So no one should fear change. Probably change is the only static thing.
Right. So all the good leaders are very tech savvy. They are up to date about what is happening. How about you? Do you still code?
Yeah, I do still code.
What have you, what was the last, nicest stuff that you have coded?
Uh, so, uh, re- So from last couple of months, I'm doing HFT stuff
Okay.
and doing coding on the HFT. My recent learning is towards how AI trading could be adopted, how I can learn a lot of AI trading and probably could bring change in myself on that front.
What's the difference between AI trading and algo trading?
So in algo trading, probably you do write scripts based on certain strategies, functional strategies.
Right.
In AI trading, probably you integrate a lot of other third-rounded verticals into your strategical signals,
Mm-hmm.
and then you uh, deploy certain code. So let me give you an example that you integrate your strategy signals using a lot of the news which gets published around the world, and basis on that, your signals gets
You're
activated.
right.
So this is one of the examples of an
Mm-hmm.
AI trading.
You mentioned HFT trading is also what you're trying to get your hands dirty with. So HFT, from what I understand, it requires very low latency. Most of the companies that are doing HFT trading, they have a direct line with the BSC or NSC. That's how they're able to achieve that low latency. How are you doing it at a personal level?
I'm not doing that.
Okay.
Keep building certain strategies which could help. Uh, uh, so number one, latency definitely matters a lot. Many a times, good codes matter more than what the latency
Mm-hmm.
matters. So I am a firm believer of the latter piece,
Hmm.
and that's how. So I started off learning HFT by a small lab which I have set up in my home.
Oh, nice. Now, while we are talking about latency and stuff,
Uh,
what I typically see is a lot of companies they struggle to get a 200 millisecond latency with an API,
hmm.
right? While there are HFT algos that are achieving latency of less than 10 millisecond. How
See
does
again.
that happen?
So if I achieve a network latency of 10 millisecond from 200 millisecond, but my API is taking a lot of time, and let's assume my API is taking 500 millisecond.
Hmm.
So 500 millisecond plus 10 millisecond makes it 510 milliseconds.
You're right.
So rather than that, if my API is taking 50 milliseconds and my latency is 200 milliseconds,
Hmm.
then 200 milliseconds plus 50 milliseconds is better vis-a-vis 510 milliseconds.
You're right.
So
What's the ideal P95 or P99 for the overall?
there's nothing called an idle or a suitable factor. Uh, Whatever code gets deployed, and if the backtesting is successful, and you start doing some beta testing into it,
Hmm.
and those trades become successful, then probably you deploy it.
But see, a lot of people, I think, would want to do something similar to what you are doing, but there are two kind of people. One who are too, I would say, scared of losing money. Second, who would end up losing a lot of money without actually, getting anything good out of it. So how to balance that and how to build those strategies? When you mentioned, that doing probably back testing and stuff, but back testing is not always 100% accurate.
If your data is accurate, probably you can do backtesting in a better manner.
Hmm.
And number one. Number second, if you are very much unsure about backtesting, then probably you should start off with small trades with your strategies rather
Okay.
than putting all the money. Why not to start off with maybe 100 rupees, 200 rupees trade?
Right.
Why to spend 100,000 rupees on one go? Why not to start
Right.
off with 100 rupees, 200 rupees, and stay calm and uh, fix that kind of amount for maybe
Hmm.
a month or two.
Increase 10%, 20%
Yes,
gradually, and then,
yes, yes.
right.
Patience actually matters.
Yeah. Right. There are a lot of stocks, which is much more, the value is much more than that 100 and 200. And India, I think fractional stock
Is
is still
not
not there, right?
yes.
right? So then you also need to identify those stocks as well, that falls into your bracket.
Yeah, and in your strategies you can define them, and in your code you can define them.
Hmm.
Probably if, so 100 200 was merely an example.
Right,
If someone doesn't want to do it, and if the stock price is maybe 1000 2000, so start off with 1000 2000 bucks rather than
right, right, yeah.
100,000 2000.
And what has been the most fancy, piece of tech that you have written or your team has built so far?
So worked on a lot of stuff. The best piece, so I'm just giving an early examples. So when I started off ClickIndia, in our bootstrap mode, we were not having money to buy in
Mm-hmm.
more machines, probably. So there was a small hack in which we, uh, what we did was, we created extension of our CPUs by merely putting graphic cards and
Okay.
placing monitor, keyboard, mouse. So I was able to attach 4 monitor, keyboard, mouse from one single machine. I'm talking about the year 2006-7,
Mm-hmm.
and were able. So probably that was a cost optimization hack which I did at that point in time when I was having a limited knowledge, when I was right.
Mm-hmm.
So there are numerous such examples in the journey.
Okay. How has, overall, see, I think even at Absolute Foods, even at, when we, in your first Click India, data plays a very pivotal role in terms of, the kind of product you are able to build, right? So now what I see that, lot of young startups, they do not focus too much of, data lineage, data hygiene and stuff, right? They just keep building and pushing data as much as possible, right? So for a young startup, what should be the right approach or right strategy in terms of managing or maintaining the data uh, as they scale?
So number one, they should any young engineer should first of all understand the data which they are capturing. That is the first and primary most important thing which an engineer should do.
Hmm.
Without understanding his data points, he cannot do anything. Let me give you a very small example around a mobile number.
Right.
I've seen many engineers who make the field as text, many put it as integer, many do it as float. So some put as an integer because for a certain reason, some put it as text for a certain reason. Those reasons should be
Hmm.
optimized and should be known for. If those are not known for, so there could be a reason around it. So I can put uh, an integer because I do not want any brackets or something coming in.
Right.
Somebody wants to put in international numbers and put.
Hmm.
So first of all, we need to understand our market. We need to understand our data.
Need to understand, like what's the end outcome that we
How,
are looking
how you are,
looking at.
yeah, business will tell you that.
Right. Yeah.
So once that is known, probably
Hmm.
that will help you,
Hmm.
or that will help an engineer to
Right.
actually determine how to architect it and how to save it and how to use it thereafter.
Right.
That will optimize the entire stack.
Hmm. See, there have been, a lot of discussion, lot of debate around the number of hours in a week that one should be working, right? 80, 90 hours, 40, 50 hours. As an entrepreneur, how much hours do you use to put in and how much hours you are actually working in a week right now?
So number one, uh, I do not believe this controversy should actually become a controversy, uh, because one doesn't say that you stick into a particular piece and you
Hmm.
do that. For example, I cannot do a data entry for the entire day, or no,
Hmm.
even a MIS executive cannot do a data entry, or
Right.
I cannot do a coding for the entire day. I cannot
Correct.
sleep for an entire day.
Right.
I cannot bath for an entire day. I cannot play football for an entire day, or for
Right.
the stretch durations. So intent is that people become workaholic
Hmm.
is more important, and what you do as a productive piece is more important.
Right.
If that solves a purpose, then probably a good sleep can be taken in 4 hours, 6 hours, or 8 hours. And
Hmm.
actually, sleep of 4 hours or 8 hours is not at all important. It is what is important is what I am doing. Uh, every human being has 24 hours in his
Correct.
clock. and that 24 hours needs to be optimized properly. If I'm wasting time by seeing social media stuffs by simply lying in my bed, probably that's a harmful piece. Uh, so what productive activity I'm doing? Uh, Productive activity doesn't mean that I should not take bath, I should not sleep, I should not take my meal or so.
It's more about the outcome than the number
It's
of
more
hours
about
you're
the
putting
discipline what
into
I take.
right.
It is about the discipline.
Last question. For young engineers who have so much knowledge and so much information available at their fingertips, what is the right approach for them to actually grow and get into the software engineering field without losing a touch of the reality and depth of the tech?
So number one, we should never stop reading books.
Okay.
I am a firm believer of reading hard books rather than soft books. So, yes, we should always read. Uh, 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 so, knowledge is the only thing which can help us being more productive, being more knowledgeable, and will help us bring a change in the ecosystem. That is what I believe in.
Okay.